Good afternoon, I'm Georgia Moylan with 2NURFM Hunter News. Puppy farms of the Hunter are in the spotlight today with a public hearing underway in Armidale looking into farming and breeding practices across New South Wales. The hearing is part of a parliamentary inquiry investigating limiting the number of dogs allowed to be kept by breeders, the introduction of a breeder licensing system, as well as considering a ban on the sale of dogs and cats in pet stores. Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter, Scott McDonald, says any regulation needs to be balanced.
It is a complex issue. There's calls for more regulations, and that's very understandable given some of the incidents that we've seen. But as I say, look, it is difficult. If we over-regulate, there is a risk that you could drive some of these breeding practices further underground. So we have to weigh up the pros and cons of more regulation.
The refurbishment proposal of Newcastle's former post office has been welcomed by tourism officials. Currently, the Awabakal Aboriginal Land Council is responsible for the deteriorating heritage-listed site, but cannot afford the refurbishment. Tourism Hunter Chairman Will Creedon says doubling the height limit would allow the building to be reused for tourist accommodation.
We need to accept the emotional reality, but we have to absolutely be sober about the commercial reality. And the only way that post office is going to be refurbished is if we go up and allow a commercial return.
Meanwhile, Property Council's Hunter Director Andrew Fletcher agrees with the proposal and says it's important to accommodate consumer demands.
Preserving the facade, preserving the exterior of the buildings is very important for our urban landscape. But what sits within inside those outside walls should be contemporary, should be modern, and it should satisfy consumer demand for something.
The Hunter Development Corporation is going back to government to reconceptualise redevelopment of the old Empire Hotel site on Hunter Street. A 14-storey affordable housing complex was proposed for the site, but the HDC said it couldn't agree on final contract terms with the developer. HDC General Manager Bob Hawes says the choice of development was suitable for the location and shouldn't be blamed for the project scrapping.
And the opportunity to provide some more of those that type of housing within the CBD, which is Newcastle is regarded as a high need area, was appropriate. And as I said, probably shouldn't be seen as the reason why the deal collapsed.
A new waste collection contractor is upsetting residents of Port Stephens. The new contractor's Sewers Environment are experiencing slow starts to collections, with some bins knocked over, late collections and missed bins. Council's Community Service Section Manager, C. Barasconi, says issues were anticipated and are likely to be short-lived.
We're rolling out a whole new bin system, so at the moment we're going out and delivering up to 65,000 new bins and collecting all of the old bins, and at the same time we're still collecting waste and recycling from our community.
Sport, thanks to our sponsor Warners Bay Sports Club.
Newcastle Knights halfback Tyrone Roberts is not going to give up his position in the club without a fight. There's been speculation about the 31-year-old's future after the club signed New South Wales halfback Trent Hodkinson earlier this month. Roberts says his focus remains on getting back into form after returning from an ankle injury.
My main focus at the moment is winning some games, and that's next year, and I can't control that until next year comes. So I'm just got to do what I control, and that's that training and on the field. And I just come off injury, so my focus is just get back in form.
Aberglasslyn teenager Jaden Butterfield has joined a rich history of Hunter boys selected in the Australian Schoolboys Rugby League side. The 17-year-old All Saints College student and West Maitland star was selected to play in the under-18 side after impressing as part of the New South Wales Combined Colleges side, have ensured he will have his chance this year. Butterfield was close to selection last year before a broken hand left him unable to play. And in baseball, Toronto have sealed their place at the top of the ladder in the Newcastle Major League after an impressive 11-0 victory over Phoenix Charlestown. That's sport. I'm Sarah Giuliano.
2NURFM News Time is 12:10.